Yo, welcome everybody. Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to TCR Trinity Competitive Racing.
Well, TCR TJ is the Season 13 Golden Class Champion for Trinity Competitive Racing.
Oh, let's go, dude! Yes!
Jabbar on the podium! He's on it by a 10! Gentlemen, side by side through one. And silent, and Seafreeze gets a half spin.
Let's fucking go!
Wheel bumping.
DRS enable, let's do it.
And Captain Blade battling it out for position. Captain Blade.
Ickle, what the
Then McChicken goes around and he also makes
rewind down the front straight. Oh my god.
I gotta check the heart rate.
Why do we do this? Because of nights like this.
Yo, welcome everybody to TCR Trinity Competitive Racing and welcome to episode 6 of the Racing Debrief, TCR's podcast where we combine the world of e-racing, sim racing, and TCR with real-life motorsports and Formula One. A true racing enthusiast's listen. I'm your host, Seafreeze. Alongside me is my co-host, Professional, and D'Angelo, producer behind the scenes. And today, as our first guest on the podcast, we had to bring in someone special. We couldn't bring in just some random guy off the street. We had to bring in someone notable and worthy of being the first guest on the podcast. And it's none other than Silver Class driver and voice of TCR, Platinum Class commentator, and TCR official, BLIN-MACHINE. Welcome to the Racing Debrief. How are you?
Hey guys, thank you so much. Yeah, I'm doing great. Super excited. Really honored that you guys are having me on the show. And yeah, let's get this on. Let's talk about some stuff.
Absolutely. So we're recording on August 14th, 2022. Let's get into it. So just a little preface. So this is the first episode we're going to talk about the actual season of TCR. So we're going to get into all the classes. We're going to get into the silver class. We're going to get into the golden class. We're going to get into the platinum class. Talk some predictions, what we will expect to happen, and then throughout the season we'll kind of keep tabs on the season. This podcast is about a number of things. So this one is more about TCR and season 14. So if there's anyone new who, might not know who we are, I would encourage you to stick around and listen. Check us out on all the social media platforms, especially join the TCR Discord server where we're the most active. And I hope to see you at some point in season 14. So I am going to go over, we'll start with silver. I'm going to go over the silver class roster and show you guys where everyone is racing for next season. We do have some spots open still on the roster. So if you are looking to get in, silver class is a great place to start. There's a lot of new faces and there's a lot of veterans too, a lot of good contenders. Silver roster starting at Mercedes. We have Rafa Hulk, who's a previous winner in the class, alongside a new driver of Oreo Halfricken. And in the Red Bull, we have our guest tonight, BLIN-MACHINE. No slouch in the class, alongside another veteran, Formula Jonah. So that's a mighty team there. For the Ferrari team, we have returning driver Omega and new driver Speedy Gunner 45 in that second seat. McLaren, we have a new driver, Matt Martinez. His next to vacant open seat. If you want it, sign up. In the AlphaTauri, we have another new driver of Lil Nas X. And the Alfa Romeo, we have my team there of Camden Luca and Chabar. Those are my guys there in Alfa Romeo. We have I'm sorry, Lil Nas X. That's Alpine, not AlphaTauri. I can't see it. AlphaTauri is empty at the moment. We have F1 Nerd, a new driver, and Mac Duff, also in Aston Martin, both new. And the other two still empty at the moment. There's probably a good amount of people, probably before Tuesday, that just need to finish up a few things and will be joining the grid. They just had to get their um, time trial and fee and all the other stuff sign-ups out of the way, but there's a few in pending. So hopefully they get a chance to join for the first round, if not by round 2. So we will hopefully get that all filled out. So there's the roster. I would say that's a good mix of some returning drivers and some new drivers. What do you guys think?
Well, first of all, it's good to be here. It's professional speaking for episode 6, like Seafreeze had mentioned. I'm excited for this episode because we are finally getting into the season for season 14. A lot of predictions, and we're kind of looking at each roster. But yeah, Silver Class has a lot of new drivers. I'm actually really looking forward to actually our guest today, BLIN-MACHINE, and his teammate Formula Jonah, formerly known as Broomhandle.
Yeah.
That team is going to be extremely strong, and maybe I'll give it away, but I actually put them as potentially winning the Constructors' Championship in Silver Class. So those are my two guys to watch. Another person to watch is also Chabar and Camden Luca in the Alfa Romeo team. Chabar was actually a rookie last season, and he came on very strong the second half of the season. I was impressed by him. Camden Luca has been quick all the way around, so look for him to also be contending. So really, those four actually are on my list to watch. The Oreo, God, how do you say his last name? The Oreo driver guy. He's a rookie in TCR, and I'll be looking at him for maybe winning Rookie of the Year for
Oh, okay.
Silver Class. So yeah, good to be here though, and looking forward to doing more, kind of in-depth looking at Golden and especially Platinum Class later in the episode.
Yeah, so silver to me this year is kind of interesting. So we kind of have all the classes covered. So Blinn, you race in silver. D'Angelo, you
Mhm.
race in golden, and myself and professional, we race in platinum. But we also commentate on different classes as well. So we keep tabs on the roster, and I think that's why it's good to have Blinn here today, is because when we get later in the podcast on the platinum class, you're commentating every race for platinum, so you get a good sense of a spectator view as opposed to the driver view. Hopefully, I think professionally might do a golden com here or there, and I obviously do silver comms. And D'Angelo, you run around too, different, uh, silver or platinum comms. So we kind of get a broad sense of the class. So going from last season, we had a pretty good roster, pretty quick roster, and you can see how a few drivers either not, you know, continuing to do the season for whatever reason may be, or getting moved up to golden class. We saw Tebow and Sir Charles move up. It kind of changes the format of how silver seems to be. Now, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of quick people, there's a lot of new people, new drivers that we don't have a track record on. We don't have no history of what they can do yet.
Mhm.
So there's a lot of question marks there. But I think silver at this point, there's also a lot of new people that have never done league racing. So I think it's kind of come back to what the Clash was kind of intended to be, is to be that entry, not kind of like an entry level, but there to like learn more so, trying to take those assists off. And I think because of those assists, we've had some really quick drivers in silver that could really contend with platinum. And the only
Yeah,
thing holding them back was the assist level.
I get the hint, Seafreeze. Thank you so much. Yeah. I get
I
it. You're
love it.
telling me that I need to move out of silver, but yeah,
Oh, I
looking
would love
back
you
on it
to.
now,
I would love you to, yeah.
yeah, looking back on it now, because I'm thinking about we're heading into season 14. My first season in TCR in the silver class was in season 9. I came in with, I think it was 7 or 8 races to go. And I was just a reserve driver, and then I jumped into a full time seat there. And I think I came like second or third in my first season, and then kind of lit me up. I was like, all right, I like this league, and I want to stick around, and I want to see where this goes. And just stuck it around since then. But it's going to be my 5th season going into silver class. So yeah, I think no matter what happens in this one, I gotta either quit or I need to move up to a higher class. And then yeah, losing my teammate for this season, that's gonna definitely affect things. Sir Charles moving up to Golden Class. He was just, a great teammate for a couple of seasons that we raced together at McLaren in the silver class, and it was just, pretty good results. We won the championship in season 12,
Yeah.
and then season 13, we were within a point of tying for the constructors, but unfortunately, not really as close as we were in the previous season to a drivers' championship. And myself and Sir Charles literally were battling for it in the season finale in season 12. Um, and yeah, I lost that one right on the freaking last corner. I can't believe that one, but yeah, so going into this season, I've got a new teammate, Formula Jonah. He's a really good driver, and as you mentioned, he was previously known as Broom Handle. Looking at his stats right now, he's got 274 points scored altogether. He's got 40 race starts, so he's got some experience in the silver class. He knows how things work, so hopefully this year at Red Bull, we're gonna have a pretty good season. As you mentioned, really good competition this year at the silver class. We've got Mercedes with Rafa Hulk. Rafa by himself is a really quick driver, and then Oreo has been showing some good potential in the preseason testing. So I think he just needs to kind of get a hang over his car on a long run. And overall, though, he's got really good pace. So the Mercedes could be a team that's going to be, hard to fight with. Ferrari, Omega, definitely, he's a guy that has been racing for quite a while as well. He's got some points finishes to his name, so let's see how he's gonna get. Hangs with this new game because this new game is a little bit different as well. But honestly, one team that I'm kind of worried about is the Alfa Romeos.
Yeah.
That's the main competition for us this season. Cam DeLucan and Chibar. Two guys that are very quick. They're consistent. Chibar consistently finishes in the points. Camden has gotten a couple of podiums, I think, before as well. So yeah, Camden Lucas got 2 wins, a couple of 3 second places, 4 third places, 9 podiums in total. So yeah, there's good competition on the grid. I'm super excited, and yeah, Tuesday it all begins.
Absolutely. So, what are your kind of personal goals, Blin? Because you mentioned it's your 5th season, and something's got to change, right? You were very close in the drivers. You've gotten constructor championship. You were very close. I remember back in, I think it was season 9. Was it 9? I think, or yeah, it was
I think it was
9.
it was either season 9 or season 10.
You came very close with F1 Racer,
Hmm.
and he
Yeah,
got it on the finale.
I've been runner up now twice in my 5 seasons, and then the other seasons I was either third or fourth or somewhere like
Very close,
close to
yeah.
the
I mean,
top. Yeah.
in the conversation for sure. And then, yeah, not last season, but season 12, you
Hmm.
were runner-up to your teammate, Sir Charles, at the time. And now Sir
Hmm.
Charles will be in Golden. So, are you putting pressure on yourself to say, "Man, I got to go out. This is like an opportunity. Is this my season?"
Well, kind of, I guess. Not too much though. I don't want to stress myself out. And the other thing is just time management, right? I've got a 7-month-old baby. I've got 2 other kids in the house, a job, and things like that to manage at the same time. So I don't quite have as much time to practice, but I've been finding additional time and actually, trying to dedicate the time to try and get ready for the season. But I'm constantly learning new things. I mean, just was it last night with the tire pressures and temperatures, figuring out that there's other ways to make it work on the long run that work a little bit better. So I'm trying to figure out things, but I've always been close. I just feel like every time that I've come close, there's been something that kind of took away from it. When you look back on the season, though, you figure out like, yeah, I've had 2 DNFs and I've had a couple of finishes outside the points, and like those could have been deciders for me. And at the same time, you don't want to really look back on that and say like, oh, this is where I screwed up. Like, I kind of try to look forward into this season and say, new game. It's a new roster on our in our silver class. I'm the most experienced guy coming in. I'll be kind of the Fernando Alonso, and I'll try my best to pretty much get as many points as I can and stay consistent. I think I've learned over the last couple of seasons to like get frustrated less as well over the race and when things happen and just kind of stay in it. And you never know what's going to happen. With a lap or two to go, there might be a safety car or something, and things change.
Now, another question I kind of had for you individually is you picked up karting in real life the last, I don't know when you started, but pretty recent, I would say. Do you think that could help you get a little bit more sense of, you know, racing style or how to be aggressive in race situations in the actual video game and actual league racing? Do you think that would
Yeah,
help?
yeah. In a way, I think what it really taught me is how to be smarter in my battling. Because in karting, like you can't. There's no damage model, right? It's if you tap somebody the wrong way, you either fly off, or he flies off, or somebody spins off. So, um, it's taught me to be more clever when I'm trying to overtake people, and then also more reserved when I know things are gonna go wrong in front of me. So hopefully, yeah, hopefully I'll take that into this season, and maybe that will help.
Well, I kind of hope it does, but I kind of also don't. I'll tell you why. Because coming into this season, I like to, and I encourage others to do this sort of style before. We've had certain drivers in the past. One most notably is a two-time platinum class champion of Gijo Breezy, who has taken a little hiatus, let's say. Uh, Whenever he used to race in platinum, it was always better the league in general because he used to take in drivers from the lower classes, silver and golden, and he would whatever team he's at. And I remember he used to be at McLaren, he used to be at Red Bull as well. He would bring in other drivers to help practice, league wide practice, and kind of help the guys who are still learning, quite new to league racing, that might need a little bit extra help. And when I saw him do this, I'm like, yeah, this helps even the top guys in platinum because when you're teaching, you're also kind of learning as well. And I really liked how he did that. So in some of the battles we had, me and him a few seasons ago, I also took that up as having kind of, you know, development drivers underneath you, kind of helping them out. And I find that collaborative practice approach is really unique. So that's why I said when I introduced the roster, my guys at Alfa Romeo, they're under the Ferrari Driver Academy. Yeah, Camden, Luca, and Chibar, they signed on. So I'm really interested to help them out and see how that goes. I want one of them to win, but I also want you to win as well because you're also an official, and I get along quite nice. So um, so it's for me when I look at drivers champion in silver, to me it comes down to either yourself or Camden. And obviously, I can't say too much if it's someone else that comes in and has the speed, a new driver. Like we said, we don't
Hmm.
have a track record. But I think if you look at the top three quickest drivers, it's probably no particular order. It'd be yourself, Camden, and probably Rafa Hulk.
Hmm.
Um, and then it's really just about who's going to show up every week, who's going to be consistent enough to put in those results, and ultimately, week after week, you accumulate all those points, and then that's what you need for the championship. It's the drivers that don't show or are inconsistent that really hurts the championship. So I think that's when I look at silver. So for those watching or listening, going across the screen now for the past few minutes are the results of the poll that we asked all the TCR members in the TCR Discord server. We pretty much put out a poll and to kind of see based on the current roster right now, where do you see the top 5 in drivers and the top 3 constructors? So going across the screen are those results. 11 people, Blin, picked yourself as number 1, and 7
Wow.
for Camden Luca for 1, and only 1 for Rafa Hulk. So those to me are my 3 that I see as, a top 3. You also see Matt Martinez has 2, who he would actually have more than Rafa. So,
Mhm.
but you're coming in as a lot of support and favorited, and I'm just really interested to see that. You see right now with the constructors, you got Red Bull, which would be your team, Blin and from the Jonah at 13, and Alfa Romeo is the other team. Contending would be Camden and Shibar. So, it's quite interesting to kind of see that. I think the majority of the league picks
Yeah.
either Red Bull or Alfa Romeo.
It's interesting. I think they're just going off of overall experience and pace. Like, yeah, I guess Camden is very very quick. Chibar is consistent and quick, and then we don't know, as you said, what the new guys are gonna do. I'm actually excited to see what these new guys are gonna be like. There's some rumors that some previous silver drivers might be coming back, like Turkey Whacker and a couple of those people. We'll see if we'll see them maybe throughout the season. And
Well, Turkey's actually signed on for Golden, but
there you go.
he's in Golden, which I'm proud, and we'll get to. Um, we assuming crossplay works fine, and we implement it, whenever that does come out. There's talks of some returning drivers to come in from Silver, those who went on to PC when the
Mhm.
console thing had switched. So that's gonna, depending on when that could be. I mean, if it comes in the next 2 weeks, that could implement the championship right there. If you have people that couldn't have attended this season because they're on PC or just haven't raced and didn't get the PlayStation, now that would implement them to come in. So I think depending on when that gets implemented, can have a huge impact on the season.
Well, I guess we'll wait and see how that goes. And yeah, I'm super excited. Tuesday is the start of the season for Silver Class, and if you guys are interested, if you're listening, definitely sign up. We still got a few spots available, and yeah, we'll be happy to see you in the league.
Absolutely. And I think so also coming into the season that is pretty new is obviously the season entry fee, but that allows us to give out, trophies to the top 3 in the constructors, and a few other prize awards for those outside the top 3. So I kind of wanted to go over um, those awards to kind of see who might be able to take those. So we have 4 different ones, uh, other than the drivers and constructors championship, which I think we kind of went over. Um, Driver with the most fastest laps would be 1 award outside the top 3. Um, so yeah, that'd be kind of interesting to hear what you guys think on that one. Driver with the most fast laps outside the top 3.
I feel like it'd probably be Chabar or Formula Jonah because one of them has to be outside the top 3 if the championship goes how it's supposed to go. I feel like because I feel like BLIN and Camden will probably be the 2 fighting at the front. So I feel like it'd be between Formula Jonah or Chabar depending on how they finish in the championship.
I'm going to give a Kimi Räikkönen answer, and I'm going to say the guy with the most fastest laps outside the top 3 will win this award.
Of course you would.
Well, I mean, it's so hard to predict. I mean, we have no idea who's going to be top 3. It's probably going to be BLIN or Camden Luca, maybe Rafa, for top 3. But if I had to bet on it, because it just depends on like the race, like when a driver can put on the soft tires and go for the fastest lap and steal it from somebody else at the end of the race. Because typically it's so random in real F1 that it's so hard to predict in like a league race. So yeah, I'm gonna give a Raikkonen answer for this one.
Well, I'm thinking it's probably gonna be like either Chiba or Camden or Ruff or whoever ends up outside of the top three. But I actually have a question regarding that. What are we gonna do in case, let's say, the top three guys have a lot of fast laps, and then from further or fourth and down, let's say there's two guys with one fastest lap each. Which one of
True.
those gonna get it?
That's a good question, Blin.
You always
Should
play
do
rock paper scissors.
or a 5-lap time trial shootout on one track.
Yeah, I mean, we could spice
There you
it up.
go.
We don't really specify, so after that doesn't apply, I guess after that we'd have to put our heads together and see, hey,
Or a
driver
one
outside the top three, these guys have one each, and that's the most. So well,
or
I
a
don't know. Yeah.
1v1 3-lapper. That'd be kind of fun.
Yep, I agree. Like some sort of additional race after the season is done to decide that in case that happens, that would be perfect. We'll stream that.
Oh, absolutely. That's content right there. Well, I mean, you could do that way, or you could do it simple too. Just say whoever's ahead in the standings. But the 5-lap race, seems pretty fun. But I would probably go with Formula Jonah. I think he's a good candidate for that one. He's a quick driver, and I think he'd be, depending if I do pick Camden, Blin, and Rafa in the top three. I think that Jonah would get all those fastest lap awards there. We also have another one, a driver with the least amount of DNFs will then be entered into a random draw. So this is a little bit randomized, but when we go through this grid, who attends and doesn't DNF?
I think the regular people that we've already kind of mentioned, like Rafa, Camden, Luca. I was actually looking at the stats here, and I think Camden has only had 2 DNFs out of 17 starts. Formula Jonah is another contender for that one. He only has 2 DNFs out of 40 race
Yeah.
starts. So that's a 95% race finish, success rate. That's a really good one.
I'm gonna go with Sensation. I think he's pretty sensible when he races.
No
Pun
pun
intended.
intended.
Yeah, no pun intended.
That's what I said.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he's a smart guy. Like, he does comms a lot with Blin for Platinum class, and just seems like he'll have his head on his shoulders a lot, and probably think long term in finishing the races. And I think he would be my top contender to win this award.
I'm gonna go with my guy Jabbar. So he's got 2 DNFs last season, but it was his first season. So I think he's quite clean when it comes to track. Gives a lot of space, which we're working on. But I think he has an opportunity there. And then this one's gonna be really hard. Rookie of the season. So I'm gonna probably say, to be classified as a rookie, it's got to be like your first full-time season. I think would be fair. If you did one reserve start, that's not a rookie season. So, and that would apply to the other classes as well. So, driver, which is going to be a lot of new drivers here. So I'd probably have to. I'm gonna throw out. Yeah, there's a lot of hype around Oreo. I'm gonna go with Oreo. I think he's gonna be the rookie here.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think he would be my rookie of the year as well, Mr. Oreo. I love that
I
name,
mean,
by the way.
like Matt Martinez has some potential as well. We don't know how quick he is yet, but he might be pretty quick. F1 Nerd was pretty quick in our Brazil little off-season special that we did. So yeah, maybe those guys.
Yeah, and the final award, which we don't really have to get into because it could be really anybody. It's just a commitment award. Those who attend every race of the season will be entered into a random draw. But I wanted to mention it just in case the new drivers are unaware of those words, they can have a little bit more incentive to show up to kind of get those awards. And this is the first season we're doing this whole prizes and trophies thing. So each season I'm sure we'll kind of get them more figured out and maybe a little better and get some feedback and kind of get better prizes or whatever's in the budget, I guess, to where you guys actually would have an incentive towards that award or whatever it may be. But yeah, so any final thoughts on the silver class? Does anything stand out? I know I'm going to be in the booth Tuesday. I cannot wait. I think D'Angelo, you're probably with me.
I am indeed.
So this is gonna be fun. We got the first comms. I gotta make sure the voice is all working properly.
Get my coffee ready Tuesday
The
too.
coffee will be ready. It'll be in the TCR mug. And yeah, I'm really just looking forward to the new drivers. I think when I'm just taking a broad sense of it, like I said, there's a lot more people pending to join the league. They just have to finish a few more things. But you look at the veteran presence of the drivers already mentioned and the new drivers that we have really no track record on. I think it's going to be fun to commentate that class because you do have that mixture, and I want to make sure that the new drivers learn, and it might be some people's first league racing experience. So I want them to be able to learn and keep motivation rather than kind of give up on it and say, nah, this isn't for me. I want to make sure they get a full season and kind of say, all right, it was really good. It was fun, but yeah, I'm just, not with it, or maybe they are, and then they go forward. So I'm always looking forward to the, that, learning curve that some of the new drivers may have.
Shall we move on to the golden class? Let's get that going. Because that's got me a little intrigued as well, with some drivers moving up from silver and then also joining. But yeah, golden's always, I guess, been one to watch for me.
Yeah, no, this one stuck out. It's as of right now, we have full grid on the roster. So I'm gonna go through the golden class roster, and this one, because it's the middle class, we have a big variety of new drivers moved up from silver, as well as returning drivers of the class. And we'll start with Mercedes, your season 13 silver class champion of Tebow. Joined up alongside someone right here, D'Angelo, who had a good run at the title last season. That's going to be one hell of a team. You have two new drivers at Red Bull. You have Dirt Shark and PVW21. And I think these guys have been teammates since they've entered TCR. I think they're the longest. I don't know if we have a stat on it, but these guys have it. So longest teammate tenure would be Got Any Weeb and Fire Up Flow. Very strong team there. Did they win the constructor last year?
No.
Yeah, it says.
Or was it McLaren?
It says
Ferrari.
but Charles messed up. McLaren won by 20 points.
McLaren won it.
Yeah, that was my team.
Oh, all right. Yeah, you did. Well, you won it with TJ. He got the title last season.
Yeah, we double dipped.
Yeah. But I'm pretty sure they had a constructor title possibly the year before, but nonetheless, or maybe that was silver. They've been around forever, so that's another strong team, strong duo. Then we have McLaren's of Gordo, who is a returning driver, hasn't raced in TCR in the Golden Class since probably a few seasons now, maybe 6 or 7, in season 6 or in season 7 around. So he's returning alongside a new driver of 4SS. So we'll see what he can do alongside. Then the Alpine of is Crizzy 10, which I don't know if that's a mistake there. And then also FND Cakes. I think that's supposed to be Rizzy. I believe that the Rizzy guy is actually, see, Rizzy 10. He's a returning driver of, yeah, see, Rizzy 10. All right. He is a returning driver of Accio, who used to race in Golden Class. That was a username change, so he's returning to Golden Class alongside new driver FND Cakes. You have the Alfa Romeo of Stark Ryder and Matt Roofer, both, I believe, new drivers there. And this is an interesting team. AlphaTauri of Turkey Whacker and STX, both returning drivers.
Wait, they're a
And
team?
they're a team, which is funny because I feel like
Okay.
they kind of go against each other. So
Yeah, I was about to say, didn't they like go at each other a lot last season?
yeah, so that's gonna be a fun inter-team battle, team battle.
Explosive.
That's gonna be a good one. AlphaTauri. And then we move on to Aston Martin, LFR Switchback, who I think is first full season here. Trays are back, also new driver here in Aston Martin. The Williams team of Erect, who is a returning driver, alongside you having a Gigglemate, who's been in the class for a number of seasons, a long time veteran there in Golden. And you speak of my Ferrari Driver Academy drivers, there they are right there in the Haas at Sir Charles and Rockstar. And Sir Charles' first time moving up from silver to the golden roster. So this is a packed roster. You have Sir Charles also, I got to mention, he's your season 12 silver class champion. And he was runner up to Tebow, who has also moved up. So you have Tebow, you have Sir Charles, you have D'Angelo, where'd you finish, D'Angelo, last season?
Fourth.
Fourth.
Yep.
And you picked up 2 wins there. So you have D'Angelo in there. You have the Ferraris, Turkey, STX, a bunch of new drivers, returning drivers of Gordo and Accio, or aka C Rizzi. And yeah, it's this one's exciting. What do you guys think?
Yeah, it's a lot of talent and a very packed grid. It's full. I think we filled it today, actually.
Yep.
But it's extremely competitive. It might be one of the most competitive golden grids that we've had in seasons. I think last season was kind of not quite as competitive, even though the top 4 were quite close, with TJ winning out. But yeah, this kind of reminds me of, it was like season 9 or season 10, I think, Golden Class, which was really stacked. Like they had the pace of Platinum. I feel like this is this kind of grid again. But yeah, I think Tebow is my guy to win Golden. Sorry, D'Angelo, I don't want to, no hard feelings, but that dude's just on fire. So, but I would love to see D'Angelo give him a run for his money. As you can see through the predictions, like it's pretty neck and neck with having the equal number of first place predictions. So I think those two are going to be right at the top. We've been Fire at Flow have been teammates for a number of seasons now, and I believe they're in the Ferrari again. So, I mean, they've always been kind of in the same spot in Golden Class every season. So
Yeah.
maybe this is the one that they'll finally, get up there and challenge for the drivers' championship. But
They
they're a
both
strong
have
pairing.
they both have a win apiece. One win
Yeah.
apiece, and also 6 podiums altogether apiece. So they're very similar when it comes to a team, which makes it really good.
Yeah, they're a very, very strong pairing. But other than that, like I'm looking forward to to that class. Sometimes I do commentate on that class or reserve commentate. Just depends on the schedule. But yeah, looking forward to it. A lot of new faces though, so we'll see how they get on with TCR and with the other guys as well.
Yeah, I'm very excited about the pairing at Mercedes, Tebow and D'Angelo. That's going to be really interesting to see. I think we have a pretty good history of drivers and champions moving up from the silver class into golden and doing pretty well. So maybe Tebow will, kind of have good luck there. Got any Weeb Fire Up Flow? I mean, I love seeing that pairing again.
Yeah.
Every year, I've commentated on them multiple times, and they kind of make it pretty clean. Like they are probably one of the cleanest like racing teammates pairing that I've seen on in TCR. So yeah, really excited to see those guys. Turkey Whacker and STX. Yeah, that's gonna be an amazing team to watch. I think they're gonna be commentators' favorites for a number of different reasons. Hopefully for good reasons, but we'll see about that. It's gonna be very interesting there. And then the new guys. Oh yeah, of course, my teammate Sir Charles. Yeah,
Well, not
I mean,
anymore. I mean, you can still consider him your
yeah, my ex
teammate.
teammate. Yeah, my previous teammate for the last couple of years at McLaren. I've even switched teams now too. I'm gonna be driving for a Red Bull at Silver Class, but yeah, huge, luck to him. I hope that he's gonna do really well there. He was very quick. He had the pace. He turned off some of the assists in the last couple of races in the last season, and he said he was pretty much getting the same kind of pace and performance that he was with the assist on. So hopefully that will carry through the season there. Rockstar is also his teammate, so Rockstar's been pretty consistent. Hopefully those guys will do well, and then from there on, we've got some new people. I've seen a couple of them do pretty well in the preseason. I think the preseason events that we did, they were so early on into like the game coming out, and people really trying to get to grips with it. Also with the couple of updates that came after that, where it changed like the handling model and they changed the tire model and everything else. It's going to be interesting to see how those guys do, and I think Golden Class is always a great mix of different drivers and different levels of like skills and experience and things like that. So it's always a great melting pot. Hopefully, it will be the same for this season too.
Absolutely. So I just want to go through a few numbers, stat-wise, of some returning drivers and drivers that have kind of been in the class before, and then we'll kind of give our official predictions of our top three in constructor, because maybe these stats will maybe change your opinion of a lot. It seems like a lot of people are going to that Mercedes team, but maybe this will change your viewpoint, or maybe it will support it even more. So I wanted to go to let's go to D'Angelo. Let's look up some D'Angelo stats here. We have him at 48 race starts, so you're only 2 away from that 50 in Golden. Only 2 wins at 8 podiums, and yeah, so that's pretty good numbers there. He was finished 4th last season. And then we have Got Any and Fire Up Flow. So Got Any, 31 race starts in Golden Class, as mentioned, 1 win, 6 podiums, with 27 total points finishes. And his teammate, who's very similar, also 29 race starts, 2 less, 1 win at 6 podiums, and 22 total points finishes. But I just wanted to go to Gordo, C-Rizzy, and Erect. Those 3 are returning, so we haven't seen them in quite a while, actually. Gordo has done 1 season, which was 10 race starts. Only picked up 1 podium, which was the top of 3rd, although he had really good glimpses of some speed, so maybe he'd be a good podium contender. You have C-Rizzy with 28 race starts at only 3 podiums, never got that win, but maybe this will be his season for that, him returning. And also Erect at 15 race starts, no podiums or wins, but yeah, maybe he's a good supporter driver. Average finish of 9th, so maybe not that contention there. And everyone else is pretty much within either new or moved up. You have Sir Charles and Tebow, Rockstar as well. Turkey in there for a full year, STX. So yeah, yeah. Let's go to the let's check these results out. So top 2 it was Tebow and D'Angelo at 9 and then 8, and then a significant drop off to that Ferrari team. Are those your guys' opinion for P1?
And this is for drivers or for for constructors?
You can give me both. Whatever floats.
For drivers, I mean, it's really a toss up, I think, between D'Angelo and Tebow. But if I had to, bet on one, I would probably go with Tebow, just because he, was the silver class champion in season 13, coming into golden. He's riding on a high right now, and mentally that goes a long way. We know that within real motorsport, whenever you've lost something, it's not a bad thing, but whenever you've lost something, and then next season you go up against somebody who's won something, that's an immediate mental disadvantage. And so I think Tebow has the advantage mentally right now, going into the season. So I have him finishing first. In terms of the constructors, I think Ferrari with Gattini, Weeb, and Fire Up Flow are going to win out on top. I just think their consistency, they've been together for seasons, they know each other extremely well. They got solid pace, maybe not the fastest pace, but yeah, I think over the course of the season, they'll be right up there, and it'll be super close between them and Mercedes. So very reminiscent of, real F1, maybe from the 2021 season with Mercedes and Red Bull. So I'm looking forward to this golden class for sure. For drivers for the second and third place, yeah, I think second probably D'Angelo, and third, I'm gonna go on a limb. I'm gonna say Sir Charles gets third place, which means actually that Gattini, Weeb, and Fire Up Flow are not going to be anywhere in the top 3, but they're going to win constructors. So how's that for a prediction?
It could happen.
Very hot take.
Yeah. I'm probably getting I have a lot of people running with pitchforks at me right now, but it is what it is.
So you think it's out of Mercedes? BLIN or D'Angelo? What are you guys thinking?
Well, I think it's probably going to be a fight between 3 teams in the golden class this season. It's going to be between Mercedes, the Ferrari, and the Haas. So I think, those 6 drivers probably are going to be in the top 6 or 5 in the championship unless we see some surprises from any of the newer guys. But in terms of who's going to be on top, it's really, really difficult to say. Golden class is so unpredictable. Stuff has happened here before. I mean, in terms of, when I commentate on it, it's pretty crazy. But I'm gonna say probably D'Angelo winning this one, with Tebow in second or third, and then Sir Charles is gonna be either second or third, with Tebow there, depending on how the season goes for them.
Okay. Now, D'Angelo, you're racing in here. How do you feel after finishing 4th, getting your first 2 wins in TCR last season? Do you think this roster is an improved roster, and where do you see what's your personal goal?
It's definitely an improved roster. I feel like last season was definitely the season for me to get back into full swing of things and try to challenge for the championship this season, because last season was very inconsistent with the way I finished, especially after the first 6 races, and then really the last 3 races I really struggled too, and that didn't really help me. So now I feel like I've got my consistency. I found my consistency in like 5 lappers, and then some 25% I've done that I feel like I could definitely challenge and win the championship. But I feel like for this season, because you don't want to put the goal to win the championship because that's the top of the top. I kind of just want to break top 3 for drivers this season.
Yeah, I think if you do that, I mean, then you'd be in the conversation. Then you kind of see what materializes for sure. So those are good goals. Personally, I think, that Mercedes team is tough, and I look at the Ferrari team. I just got to see, what they got really on track. To see if they could put it all together. I think this is kind of not even mentioned, but Gattini Weeb had a silently good season last year, didn't he? He went to the final race as an opportunity to win the championship. Now, he was a little bit farther back. He did finish third in the Drivers' Championship, but he went to the finale still in contention for the Drivers' Championship with alongside Warriors and TJ. And TJ obviously got that done. So when you look at this now, Got Any Weeb actually outscored yourself, D'Angelo. So if you're going to put D'Angelo as high as maybe winning the championship, I think you got to look at Got Any Weeb. And then also Fire Up Flow, who only finished 1 point behind D'Angelo. So I think people sleep on God Any. I'm telling you. Telling you. He went to the finale driving for a championship. He was still in it, which I think is kind of cool, and I don't think many people know that. But I think if I had to choose, because I like to place bets because I want to make sure I get myself a good opportunity to win. I'm gonna go out on a limb, and I'm gonna say God Any Weeb is gonna be your champion for the Golden Class, and I would double down. And I'd put Ferrari at the top, just based off of last season. We could have a breakout. TJ had a breakout season last year. I think maybe this year it'd be God Any Weeb. We'll see. And also remember, not TJ, Tebow, when he did those few reserve races last season, he wasn't that far, off. He did eventually get one podium in 5 races that he reserved, but I think that might be a different struggle for Tebow. We saw him in silver kind of get pole positions and then lead off the race and he was always on the podium besides a few races, but it was very strong season he put together. Now to go to Golden Class, take I think only ABS off, which isn't the worst assist to take off. I think racing against others who have had that experience with just the racing line could come in handy. But I think he's definitely in the conversation. But I don't know if it's as clear as how he had it in silver. I think it's going to be at least a tougher fight, if anything. And Tebow's an interesting driver as well because he's coming into Golden as the favorite based off the votes. But in all honesty, he could be the first multi-class champion that we've ever had. We've never had a driver go from not win a championship in more than just one class. So if he wins the Golden Class championship next season, he'd be the first driver to win a championship in 2 classes. And that means he could get bumped up to platinum in season 15 and maybe not win it there. I hope not, because I'll be driving there. But he'll be going for the triple championship in TCR, which has also not been done. So Tebow's interesting because of that aspect of he could be the first 2-time winner because I think he's got a real shot here in Golden, but we'll see how he stacks up against people who've already been there and then the new drivers.
Fair point. I mean, yeah, he could be, one of those guys that goes from silver to golden to platinum. I mean, that would be insane. He might be one of the first ones. If he wins golden this season and then he goes to platinum and wins that, would he be the first one in TCR to actually do that? Yeah, that's the goal of what TCR was about. It's like going from class to class to class and being successful and growing as a driver, improving. Yeah,
absolutely.
And that's really, really cool, I think. So.
Well, we've never had a driver win 2 championships in different classes. Bats Plus was quite close last season. He's golden champion. We'll get to in a few moments here, but he was close runner up in platinum, so he could have been the first multi class champion. But Tebow is probably could be the first one. He's got a real good shot. Chargers, my team in platinum, had a good shot. Because he was from silver, then moved up to golden as kind of that favorite. But I think the roster he was up against in that time period was really strong. But I think as of now, he would be the first favorite. It takes a long time to see that actually happen because it's 3 classes. we do 2 seasons per game, so you're looking at a year and a half, and that's if you won that championship in your first try in the class, which is very hard to do. So if Tebow goes to Golden and then wins it in his first try, then that's pretty scary. So I don't know. Will it take more than one? Will he get it in one?
He's
And
like
how
the new
close
Max
will it be?
Verstappen.
Could be. And
Yeah.
it's not like he belonged. I mean, he could if he went to platinum, he'd probably be pretty good in platinum. But
I
it's
think
not
so.
like
Yeah.
it's not like he's super quick at the time. Like he's actually progressing and taking the assists off and actually learning as a driver. And I think he had a really impressive silver class. Let's see what he does here. But I think, don't sleep on the other guys. Like I said, got any weeb, went to the finale. I don't know. That's my hot take. So, and let's just go to let's finish it off with some the prize awards here. So, driver with the most fastest laps in Golden outside the top 3. There's a lot of candidates for that one.
You want me to go first?
Yeah, go ahead.
Top 3 in drivers. Wait, like I think I already said that, right?
Oh, the fastest laps.
Oh, fastest lap. Sorry.
Yeah, outside the top 3.
God, I have no idea. I'm really inclined to give my Kimi Räikkönen an answer again and just say like the guy with the most fastest laps. Yeah. Dude, I have no idea. I'm gonna say Fire Up Flow because he's not gonna get in top 3, but he'll get the most fastest laps.
All right.
I'll say STX.
Ooh,
Oh yeah, actually
that was my
that's a
pick.
good choice. No, I'm still gonna go with the Fire Up Flow. Come on, Fire Up, let's go. Get those fastest laps. Don't let me down, bud.
And D'Angelo?
I was gonna go with Fire Up Flow too. I was like,
Yes,
2v2,
let's go.
alright.
yeah, I was like, it's either him or STX. I feel like Fire Up Flow is more
Yeah.
consistent pace wise.
Yes.
I think STX really quick. I think he's very aggressive, and I think that kind of
Too aggressive
hurts him
sometimes.
in the long run. And I think if he can clean it up, he's probably could be the quickest guy. I think he could go up there, get some poles, and get some wins. Now it's all of a matter of can he put it all together, which we seen at times, but not through a whole season. But if he gets outside the top 3, I think he's the quickest guy outside the top 3. All right, then person with the least amount of DNFs, who's going to show? I think you got to point to that Ferrari team again. Least amount
Yeah,
of
but I mean,
DNFs
but
across the
if
season.
Gotten Weeb's gonna finish in top 3, then we can't pick him.
Right.
He would
Yeah,
he would be my pick for that award. So probably, see who's a rookie that could do good. You know what? Actually, I think
You know what? I got mine.
I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna go on a limb. I'm gonna say 4SS. I really want to say his other name or whatever, but maybe it's not appropriate. I think Ass is gonna get the it's gonna be the most consistent. Yeah, so yeah, I think 4SS is gonna be my pick for this award.
I'm gonna go with You Having a Giggle.
Ah, Blin, what are you reading my mind? That's weird.
You guys are typing messages back and forth here.
I was gonna pick Rockstar for that.
Rockstar, man. I was gonna pick Giggle too. I think he shows up and he just completes the races for sure. So man. All right, and we also got Rookie of the Season. A lot of new guys here, but also I think you could. Well, has to be outside the top 3, so it wouldn't be able to be Tebow if you pick him, and because he'd be a rookie of the class. Sir Charles would be a candidate. If depending if he's outside the top 3, and then I'm looking at that Red Bull team in my opinion. I'm going to go with PVW. I've seen a little bit of him. I don't know if he did any preseason, but looking at his times from the evaluation, I think he could be quite good there for the Rookie of the Season. I'm going to go with PVW.
I got Erect for me.
I've seen Matt Roofer
Oh
at
yeah.
least a couple of times before. He's been pretty good, so Oh, and also Switchback is doing his first full-time season
First
in gold.
full-time season, yeah.
Okay, Switchback then.
I'm gonna go Sir Charles.
Sir Charles. And actually, Professional Erect did do a season, a full-time season, so this would not be a
Oh.
rookie season. So
Never mind. I was gonna pick Switchback then. He was my second
Switchback.
pick. Yeah.
Gotcha. All right,
Yeah,
and then
I've raced with
obviously,
him a few times and some other stuff preseason, so been impressed with him.
yeah, and then obviously it'd be Ward. Just want to mention driver who would show up to every single race outside the top 3 would also get into that award as well. To hopefully those who are unaware are now aware and can kind of go towards that. So,
I think we're all in unison on this one, maybe.
which one?
Fire up. Well, that's mine anyway.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he does show up. He's such a good driver. I mean, he just does it. He's like my ideal driver in TCR. You know those guys that just kind of they just show up and they race. You know, they do whatever. You're like, yeah, they show up. Like that's what we ask the drivers to do is to show up and race and not give us a hard time. That's that Ferrari team. You know, they're
Pretty
so
much.
dedicated to the league, and they started in silver. They moved up to golden, and I just cannot say enough good things about them. And you've seen Fire Up in a lot of platinum class commentaries, so hopefully he gets a chance to do that as well. And if there's any new drivers wanting to do some commentary or stewarding or help out, you definitely just give us a PM message, and we could definitely edge to the team. But I think this is a committed grid, and yeah, I think we'll be looking forward to it come Wednesday. But is there any final things on this, or shall we go to the top of the top?
Let's go.
All right. So, platinum class roster. I will go through it here, and there's a lot of accolades. So, we will start at the top at Mercedes. New rookie driver, a professional. Not sure what. Not sure what that guy could
Rookie
do.
driver. Hold up here. Hold up.
No, obviously, veteran of the league. He's a winner in the class at some point, and he's in Mercedes this season. Finished. Where'd you finish last season? 4th.
P4.
P4 in the championship, and he's up alongside Ecos Verstappen, or formerly known as Silent. That's a quick team in the Mercedes. Then you go to the Red Bull team of we're gonna mention him as Tasmanian Devil or B-Tom, 2-time platinum class champion, and he won it last season in season 13. His other one was in 11, and you also have last season's golden class champion of TJ, and this will be his first season in the class, so he'd be a candidate for rookie of the season. Then you go to Ferrari of myself. Hey, Blin, I don't know. I can't really introduce myself. I don't know. Do you want to take this one for me?
Of course, yeah, absolutely. Let me have this honor. Yeah, so in the Ferrari, we've got the 3-time TCR champion season 1, season 3, and season 8, all in the platinum class. It is no other than Mr. Seafreeze.
Hey.
And alongside him, a season 8 silver champion. It's Chargers 1000, and a quick note on Chargers as well. When he drove in the golden class, he has the most points ever scored in the golden class up
Oh,
until this
wow.
moment right now. So good luck. I think he's going to be a great teammate.
Yeah, that's why I picked him. And I think, let me just make sure. This would be, now he's got 7 race starts, so I got to see if he did a full-time season or if he was counted as reserve, but this could be his first full-time season, which I do think it is. So he would be a candidate there. And he also won the 100% race finale in season 12 at USA, and that would be his first win in in platinum, I would say. So that's the Ferrari team. We go to McLaren of Flip Flop Fish, who grabbed his first win in the class last season. He actually grabbed 2. He also grabbed the finale 100% race at Dakota. And he is a runner-up also from when he raced in the Golden class. So we last saw him back in season 10 full-time. And obviously from then on, we've had a few reserve races from him. But him actually getting his 2 wins in Platinum last season, I think and he's the last driver to win it. So obviously the finale last season. So that's gotta keep in the back of your mind a little bit. And then alongside him, you have Justo Zay has 9 races in 9 race starts and 1 win as well. So another winner of the class. And he would not be considered a rookie of the season. Go to Alpine of Bats Plus, your runner-up of last season and your Golden Class champion of season 12. And he is up alongside Mebe, who also has a win in the class, and he's got 36 race starts with 11 podiums. I believe he got a win last season, which would have been his first, and that is a strong team there in the Alpine. Then you go to the Alfa Romeo, and we have a new driver of LFR Atakov. I believe he's a Canadian driver, and it'll be his first season in the Platinum class. Very quick from the evals and some preseason testing, so I think we kind of have to watch out for him. He is also the same esports team as BTOM, so there might be some result semblance there. And he is teamed up alongside HVAC Toaster, who is returning. No wins in the class. He's got 17 race starts and only 2 top 5s in the class, so we'll see what he can do in this season. And moving to AlphaTauri of Saucy Demon, or I think also formerly known as Captain Blade. Not too sure what he goes by these days, but this will not be. He did it last season. He has 8 race starts with 2 podiums, no wins to his name yet. He is teamed up with Callie Robb, who joined last season. He did 5 race starts, so this will probably be his first full-time season, as he joined in as a reserve towards the end of the last season. So he's a good candidate for Rookie of the Season. Only got 1 top 5 in 5 attempts. Moving to Aston Martin, you have Stanley, who won the Constructors' Championship with BTOM in the Williams last season. And he got moved away, and now he's on Aston Martin. Stanley also has a win in the class. He won back another 100% race. These 100% races really bring out these one-time winners. Stanley won that 100% race, I believe, in season 11 at Britain. And he is teamed up alongside Forzan, who's got 11 race starts in the class, 2 top 5s, but has shown some great speed. And in the Williams, we have Dreamsy, with the only other vacant seat alongside him. We're still looking for a driver there. No podiums by Dreamsy, but he has 18 race starts. And the final team of the Haas is Cam K Mom. 56 race starts. People don't realize this, but he raced way back and around season 3 and 4 and 5. He took a little bit of a break and came back a few, I believe, maybe last season. I think it was his first time back. He's got 56 race starts, 1 win with 12 podiums, and he's teamed up alongside McChicken, who does not have any wins in the class. He's got 2 top 5s and 18 race starts. So there's a lot of champion, a lot of accolades, a lot of veteran presence. Not many new rookies in the class. I think you only have TJ. You might have Chargers. You have Atakov. You have Callie Robb. And that's really it. So one of those are going to be your Rookie of the Season or that vacant seat, depending who it is. So coming into this, what are our thoughts on this roster? I believe it's an improved roster, and it's kind of a scary one.
Yeah, I mean, you said it. It's kind of scary. It's super exciting as well. There's so much experience on this grid, and the platinum class is going to be pretty ridiculous. I think pretty much all of qualifying for me as a commentator is going to be pretty much taken up by reading out titles of all of the drivers and what they've won and what they've done over their history in this league. But they've done a lot, and so this is going to be, the top of the top. This is why we have the platinum class. From what I've seen so far, a couple of people to watch out for. Definitely Tasmania Devil, two-time champion, coming off another championship in season 13. Just like Professional mentioned before, he's riding that mental high, so he's going to be coming into another season, feeling strong about his pace. We'll see what he can do. So far in preseason, he was pretty quick. He was consistent as well. I think he had a couple of spins here and there because we're all still getting used to the new handling models and the tires and the setups and everything else. But I think if he locks everything down like he did in season 11 and season 13, he could have another really good season here as well. But one person I think is gonna, throw a stick into his spokes there is possibly 007 Professional. From what I've seen in the preseason so far and in the special events that we've done, Professional's got a lot of pace on this new game. He's quick in time trials. He's quick in the online mode. So hopefully, and I'm really holding my fingers here. I'm hoping that somebody's going to give Tasmania Devil a really good run for his money this season. And then obviously, we can't forget about Seafreeze, three-time champion. You've won your most recent championship in season 8, so it's been a little bit, but you did pretty good last season with Ferrari and with 007 Professional as your teammate. Now you've got a different teammate as well, so there's much to consider there. And that's just like the first three teams on the list. And then you
Yeah.
just keep on going down the list, and it just keeps on going. There's Pats Plus. There's Adakov, as you mentioned, a new driver coming in. He's a member of the same esports team as BTOM and Switchback as well. So we've
Yeah.
seen all of them being pretty quick overall. Adakov could definitely throw in some extra spice into this season 14 in the Platinum class. I'm going to be keeping my eye on him. And then we've got, a couple of other people that have, done quite a few things and have scored points and have been consistent before, but they just haven't been, I guess, pushing as hard as they possibly could. I think somebody like McChicken, somebody like Forzan. I've raced with Forzan on many different games and over the last couple of years, and I know he's really quick. I've seen his times in time trial as well, and he definitely gets a lot out of those cars. Whether or not he can carry that throughout a race, that's going to be a different question. And honestly, I got to say this about, all three classes. This is going to be a completely different game, in general, a completely different season for us than what we're normally used to, where, coming on the day and having good pace usually wins the race. It's not going to be the same anymore. This new game, this new handling model, the way that it responds to your, throttle inputs and braking and everything else, it can throw you off at a single moment. I've seen many people completing, 75, 80% of the race in the lead and then spinning off. So I think it's just going to be down to who's going to dedicate the most time and focus to their racing. And that's going to really come down to it, especially in the platinum class, because the level of competition in this class is just way above, the rest of the of golden and plat and silver class. We really can't compare. All the experience, all the accolades, all the titles that are in here. This is going to be incredible. I can't wait.
Absolutely, I can't wait as well. I'm gonna ask. I'm gonna let Professional go here first because we're both driving in it, and it's kind of unique that we have BLIN here too because you've been commentating all these seasons in Platinum, and I want to ask, you Professional. I know you've had a lot of time on this new game, and you have a lot of speed in there. Coming off from P4 last season, what are your kind of goals for the season, and what do you think of the roster and maybe other drivers on the grid? And then I'll go after you.
Mhm. The grid is stacked. It is the most competitive grid since season 9 or 10, like even possibly more competitive than those seasons. It's insane. I love league racing, as most of y'all know. I'll be racing until I can't anymore. So give it 10, 15 years and I'll still be here if TCR exists, which I hope it does. But yeah, the new game is it's it's good. Like I really like the handling model, the tire model. It feels much like the older F1 games where I felt more at home compared to uh, F1 2019 to 21. So yeah, I think the speed is there. Just have to kind of hone it in and see. I don't want to talk myself up. I know Blin said I'm a competitor, but you got to put it all together. And with Tasmanian Devil or B Tom as we know him, he's been super competitive the past few seasons. He's won a few championships, and yeah, you can't count him out. So he would be my top to win the championship. I don't like saying it, but it's just reality. So yeah, I think he's really in a good place again, coming off that championship win. So if anybody can give him a run for his money, that'd be a good thing. If it's me, great. If it's Seafreeze, that's also great. If it's Ecos Verstappen, my teammate, sure. Maybe even Flip Flop Fish. So who knows? But yeah, I'm excited and I feel on pace. Feel like I just got a really good handle on it so far, and hopefully that doesn't change, and hopefully I can keep on putting the time in. It's not like I've been sweating the game like other people past seasons. I've just put in the appropriate amount of time to be competitive and to learn the setups and to learn how changes can affect the car and how it handles over short distance, but also the long distance, because just because your car feels great short distance, like on a 5-lapper, doesn't mean that it's going to be good the last half of a 50% race that I've found recently. Car can get unsettled, can be quite loose on the rear end if you don't have the right setup. Also just managing your tires and kind of knowing the strategy and what to do. So I'm excited for the season, and I feel like it's a really good chance for me to be at the front and possibly turn it into a few wins. It's been quite a while since I've won a TCR race, and I'm going to do everything I can to make that happen again.
Okay. No, I like that. That's a good answer. So for me, coming into this season as a driver of the class, so firstly, the roster is, in my opinion, I don't know. I would have to really sit down and see, is this the best roster? Because, or how does it compare on previous seasons? But I will tell you, it is the best season since at least season 10. So it's been a little while since we've had this amount of speed, and the amount of drivers that can win is pretty crazy. I will say that last season was my first season back after 2 seasons off, and I thought last season was me still learning a lot of it, right? So I think coming into this season, I always have the same approach coming into a season. And maybe this would help some others in silver or golden. The first half of the season, well, I think D'Angelo said earlier as well, you never want to go into a season expecting you're going to be the champion, because if that happens, it doesn't happen. So you never want to come in there that confident. You want to go in there the first half of the season putting your best foot forward, best effort forward. About the mid-season mark, you kind of see where you're at in the standings. If the shit hit the fan and you're really down far low, then do the bare minimum. At least be prepared and show up and finish it out strong. But if you're sitting pretty or sitting up there in the conversation, I always like to say sitting in the conversation, then you continue that effort and maybe a little bit more for the second half, and then whatever materializes. Like I said, it's so hard to win a race in platinum these days, and it's so hard to win a championship. It's very hard. There's a lot of variables that go into it. You have the safety car, which is can destroy races and strategies, and it doesn't matter who is the quickest driver. And it's also 50% race, so you have it's, to me, it's short compared to, it's half the distance in real F1, so you have half the time to recover if something does go wrong in the race, maybe safety car strategy. So for me, um, it's really about those, every point counts in the season, and those mistakes. It's so hard to win because if you make a mistake on this grid, you can go back so far. It's not like you have a buffer with another driver. And I think that's the biggest thing on the Platinum grid, is that difference in the roster. Um, but we'll see how it goes, and then we'll go with that approach. But I wanted to mention a few drivers who might be listening, and I'm a driver, but I'm also an admin of the league as well, an official. So I think of it. I want the roster to do good, but as a driver, I don't. So it's a weird thing. I have to manage the roster. I want the best roster possible, but I'm also driving in it, so it's kind of frustrating. But I'm gonna say that there's probably 4 to 5 drivers that are on this grid that are probably could be top 5 drivers as far as speed, outright speed. But th- the ability to put the entire race together for a long period, like, multiple races, might be lacking. And I want to give a little encouragement to these drivers, because I think if you guys think long term 50% race, if you think long term season, that could be a huge increase in the amount of points you get and probably help you in the standings. So it's not a disrespect by any means, but it's more so the other way. It's actually a compliment that I think you have a lot of good speed. And I think if you think of a different little mindset, I think it go a long way. So those drivers for me are Just Jose. It is Mebe, Forzan, McChicken, and Captain Blade. Those 5 drivers are extremely quick and can win on any given day. And I think could win in this season. But it's a competitive grid, so you don't want to get um, unmotivated if you don't win. People can kind of understand that if you just point to the grid and say, "Hey, you didn't win, but look at the roster you were up against." But I think if you have the ability to look at long term, 14 race season, you go race by race, improve. I think anybody here is in the conversation. So, I just wanted to put that out there. But yeah, and I'm gonna ask Blin now, since you're more the outsider here. And we have the results now circling. Oh, well, I didn't give my prediction, but I'm gonna let you pick your top 3 for drivers, maybe constructors as well. And do you agree with the results of the poll?
I mostly agree with the results of the poll. I think I would personally put professional, Tom, and yourself, Seafreeze, in the top 3. Not sure which order yet, because again, I'm not like, professional is saying that he thinks Tom might still have speed on him, but I'm not so sure about that, because as I said, this season is going to be different. It's not just going to be about pace and working out a one-stop strategy, because the tire strategy rules are completely different. We can all start on the best tires now, so you can kind of have a better prediction of kind of strategy people are going to run in the race. So that is something that should help everybody stay closer together and have a better competition all the way down to the line. Um, so yeah, I think professional, BTOM, and C-Freeze at the top, and then for the constructors, um, it's kind of hard to pick that one, because there's really great pairings, and constructors is not just about like who gets the most wins and things like that. It's really just consistently getting double points finishes. So one, man, I really can't pick. I don't know. I'm probably gonna say Ferrari. I think, just going off of statistics, Chargers very consistent, high finish rate, gets lots of points in Golden Class when he was there full time. So yeah, I think probably Ferrari for the constructors would be my guess.
Right, and D'Angelo, what's your view of the Platinum Grid? What do you think for the top 3 in constructors, and do you agree with the poll?
I agree with the poll to a certain extent. I feel like Bats hasn't gotten enough recognition. I feel like I'm not saying he'll win, but I feel like if he does, I wouldn't be surprised. So I think I'm still gonna put. I think I still might put Taz at 1, and then Bats maybe like within a point.
Oh.
In second. I think it's gonna go down to the finale, and then it's kind of a toss up from there because I didn't really watch Platinum except for the commentary I did, so it's really a toss up and it's a new game, so really anyone could beat anyone on a given night. So if I had to pick someone, I'd probably pick Professional or Mr. Freeze in that third spot.
And then any any team strikes you? It's a tough one.
Constructors is weird because like you obviously have Ferrari, which is Chargers, and Freeze, which are good, and then I feel like TJ could consistently maybe get like top 7 points finishes, and if Taz just wins in podiums a lot, I feel like they could be up there as well. And then obviously Mercedes too. I feel like those 3 will be, and Alpine. I feel like those 4 would be in the mix for the constructors. But in the end, I think it will probably be between Mercedes and Ferrari.
Mercedes and Ferrari and Red Bull possibly. Okay. And Professional, I don't know if you officially put all your predictions in earlier, but I just remind me if you did.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I did.
And what were they?
Well, sorry. I think
Yeah.
no, I don't think I did. Drivers first place.
Don't know.
Don't do it. Put yourself, damn it. Do it.
It's hard. It's hard to say. First place, I'm gonna just put myself in first. Why not, right? Second place, I'm gonna put Ecos Verstappen. Third place, I'll put Tom. Constructors, I will put Mercedes winning. With probably Ferrari second, and then Red Bull third.
You said Mercedes second?
No, Mercedes first. Sorry, Ferrari second.
Ferrari second, okay. And then Red Bull
and
third.
then Red Bull.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's Ferrari, Mercedes, and Red Bull up there, according to you guys' predictions. So for me, coming in, I think there's so many candidates that could be champion, and constructors is crazy as well. I look at it as far as a time standpoint, more so who's able to, put in committed practice time and just be one with the game. And I think only 2 people really stand out in that regard. And then once we start and everybody goes back to work and school, or school and you kept working, I think the person with the most time on his hands, and therefore my prediction for Platinum class is Flip Flop. I think that guy puts in a stupid amount of hours. And, I think he's determined. I think he got 2 wins last season. And I think, you see his speed throughout the off season. And once you get going in the season, I think he'll be a real good contender. He only did a handful of races last season, but he did get 2 and, was up there battling. For sure. I think Taz also has a lot of hours on the game, but I think with him and his schedule for school, I think possibly could limit his hours, therefore maybe not being at his peak self, especially on a new game. There's not really much to go back on as far as experience. So and with a much more competitive grid, if any more mistakes do happen, I think it could be even dramatized because of that. So, but nonetheless, I think coming in as the previous champion, I'd put him P2, and P3 is really a toss-up for me. When you look at the time and look at consistency, but who's got the speed, you also got to think, are they showing up every single week? And that also helps. And I think the three people there for P3 would be Bats Plus, it'd be Professional, and be myself. I know we're going to be showing up probably every race. And I think that outweighs, a win. If Silent or Jose or maybe Captain Blade aren't able to show up, that's gonna lose you the championship, and not only it's gonna lose you, many places. So, I think with that, I'm gonna put myself for P3 and give me something. And constructor wise, I think you're gonna have. Oh man, that one's so tough. Looking at it, people picked, Red Bull, Mercedes, and McLaren. I think as a team, I think the strongest one would probably be Mercedes, so I'm going to give it to Mercedes. Um, and then McLaren, and then Ferrari would be my picks there. But it's so hard to say. I mean, and we still have one vacant seat, so whoever that heavy hitter is could definitely help out. I think. I don't know, but
It's so close.
yeah. But we also, if platinum drivers are listening, I hope there are a few at least. Just think of that we got to live with each other for 14 weeks. So I just want to emphasize that. Let's work together a little bit, because the thing, and I want to also say this too, because we Platinum seems to get a lot of incidents, and it only makes sense, right? So you're going to go through incidents and some big arguments or whatever, and that's all fine as long as the two know that at the end of the day you're going to show up next week, and that's kind of put aside. You have such a stacked grid, and because everyone's so close in speed, like Brazil, I think everyone's going to be within a second. Could be. I really think everyone's going to be within a second of pole time. It's going to be that close. Obviously, short time lap time helps, but because you have a lot of quick drivers, they're all fighting for the same piece of track, opposed to maybe a lower golden or silver, where the gaps between first and last is a little bit more, a little bigger. So naturally, you're going to have a little bit bigger gaps on track, meaning less people, less crowded, and less incidents therefore. So that's why you see a lot of incidents, because everyone in Platinum's trying to race for the same goal for the most part. Everyone's there to like win and be competitive and have good results, and everyone's fighting for the same piece of tarmac. And I think that is why you might see some of those things. So it's going to be a tough season regardless, but the polls were interesting, for sure. But my two biggest surprises there is, well, firstly, not many people gave Bats Plus any credit, like D'Angelo said. To me, that was surprising. Like Bats Plus runner up, and I didn't even get I kind of agree with it, but to an extent. But I didn't even get a vote for first myself. So I don't know. Don't sleep on Bats or myself. That's all I'm gonna say. And we'll go to the awards here.
Ego.
What do we got for fastest lap outside the top three?
I'm gonna say just Jose.
I'll say, oh man, let's go with Fire Upflow.
Fire Flow.
Yes, Fire Flow.
He's not in platinum.
That's the joke.
Right.
Oh,
Oh, jeez. I'm looking at the wrong.
I tried to save.
Wow.
I tried to
I think
save
the
you.
joke's on you,
late.
D'Angelo.
I tried to save him.
It's getting late, and it's been a long day for me. So yeah. No, sorry. Actually, I'm gonna go with Mebby. I think he's gonna get it.
I was
Okay.
thinking. I was either thinking Mebby or TJ. I don't really know.
Professional, who you got?
I already said Jose.
Jose, D'Angelo, you don't know. You were thinking
TJ,
TJ maybe?
Yeah, TJ or Mebby, or even maybe Flip Flop. He probably could get that.
I'm gonna put Bats Plus, assuming he's outside the top 3. And we got also driver with the least amount of DNFs outside the top 3.
You're gonna hate me, but I'm gonna say Seafreeze.
Okay, I don't DNF, so I'll take that credit. Unless there's a nickel across the track.
There you go.
I'm gonna go with Cam.
Yes, that's another great opportunity there. I'm gonna double down on Cam as well.
I was thinking. See, I didn't watch Platinum that much last season, so it's kind of weird for. I'm gonna say Dreamsy.
Okay, yeah, that's a good one too. And rookie of the season, only I think 4 drivers possibly. I think you got TJ, Chargers, Adakov, and Cali Rob. And I guess you could pick the vacancy if the random guy is a new guy, but not certain. Rookie of the season, who we got?
I'll go with Adakov. I think he's shown some potential, and been talking about him. Either him or Vacant.
That's a good one too, Vacant. Yeah.
Vacant can be anyone.
I'm gonna go with TJ.
Okay.
I was
Going
thinking.
with the Golden Champion.
I was thinking TJ or Chargers. I'd probably give the edge to Chargers, just because like he's also won in Platinum too, so he's got that experience. So
Well, I'd be a bad teammate if I don't pick Chargers, so I'm going to pick Chargers. I want him to have a big season there. Unfortunately, we'll miss the first race, but after that, he will be there and committed. So, yeah, I'm going to pick Chargers for that one. And obviously, if those don't know, obviously another award would be for the random vote, draw for the person who attends every single race. So there you have it. That is pretty much the preseason race, and the fun thing about this is we now have this podcast up and running throughout the season. So when some crazy stuff happens, we have this to kind of fall back on and kind of look into the season. And I think that's kind of neat that we have this up throughout. And I just want to say huge thanks to our first guest of BLIN-MACHINE. I thought you gave some good insight as the silver driver as well as the platinum commentator. So I want to thank you for that, and I can't wait to listen back on the platinum commentaries to hear your voice.
Thanks for having me, guys. I really enjoyed it. Hopefully, you'll have me as a guest on maybe another episode later in the season. But also want to use this chance to give a huge shout out to all the drivers. Good luck in the new season coming up. And to all of our viewers, you guys have been absolutely amazing over the last couple of seasons. Keep up the support. Thank you guys so much. Sign up to race with us. Check our social medias and subscribe and like the video if you haven't yet. So yeah, really excited for the season. Can't wait to get racing on Tuesday, and then I'll be in the booth on Thursday, like you mentioned. But yeah, thanks again, guys.
Right, and final thoughts from Professional and D'Angelo before we close this out. Final thoughts from you too.
I've just got 2 words. Let's go.
race week, let's do it. I am very excited.
Absolutely. And from myself to Professional and D'Angelo and our guest BLIN-MACHINE, we can't thank you all enough. And there's been a lot of work put into this season, and we finally get to see it unravel. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. It'd be August 16th, 17th, and 18th, 8:45 p.m. Eastern Time. Stream should be up, and we have 14 races on the calendar, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So good luck to everybody. For the new drivers, feel free to reach out to me or any other officials for information, or if you want to practice. I always like to help out, so you get the full experience here. And if there's any new ideas or any troubles, definitely come out as well to an official, and we'll get that suited. And other than that, this was your episode talking about preseason for all of season 14, and hopefully we will see you all in season 14 starting on Tuesday. So make sure to follow TCR on all socials, subscribe to the YouTube channel, like the videos so you don't miss it, and join the TCR Discord server where we are the most active. And until next week for the podcast, but this week for TCR, thank you for listening.